Alrighty, so the Donation 2.0 set named Wishweaver, they finally finished it up, put it out. I may do this in several parts, but it's finally out. Very happy with the overall release. Now, I think that there are some people who may like Wingweaver better. There's some people who may like Wishweaver better. The overarching idea of the two, I think Wingweaver is going to be the better damaging armor. Wishweaver's going to be the better armor for overall healing, hit points, and SP. And then also Wishweaver having this spellcaster lean will make it better for mages compared to Wingweaver. Wingweaver has a full defensive mode, which I think is a waste. I think Wishweaver having a spellcaster lean and a full offensive lean will probably cater a little bit more to more play styles, but Wingweaver definitely has a couple of things that makes it a worthy competitor amongst the two. But I just want to first start off with the miscs. So the miscs here, so we've got Wingweaver Spirit and Wishweaver Spirit. If you remember, let's go ahead and just do this. If you remember, the misc basically can turn on a barrier mode. So you just attack with it, and then I get 100 hit point barrier. It'll get, I don't remember if the barrier is better for melee and ranged like the armor does, but that's basically it in a nutshell. So basically, you turn it on and give barrier, and then I guess it gives, let's see, it's giving endurance, and then it's giving 6.25% heal resistance. So a barrier is another form of healing. So it gets half the normal 12.5. That times 101. So that's the Wingweaver version. So the Wishweaver version. So as of now, I think it may slightly change to be, I'm hoping anyway, it sounds promising. They're going to change the save to be intelligence. So it'll probably still be plus 50 dexterity. It'll be dex inflict still, but instead of endurance being the save stat for the monster, I believe it's going to be intelligence. So it'll be kind of a nod to Rangers, but changing the save stat may help other builds slightly. But basically this misc actually has two modes, whereas the Wingweaver misc did not. But you get plus 50 dexterity on either one. So you have, basically this is going to work like Tropo Shield. So it's basically you get 150% Elevon to wind. So you're going to want to use this with, if you're attacking with wind, which both Wingweaver and Wishweaver are Ellie locked to wind. So as you can see, you have, so it's like 0 turns, so it's basically the attack that you're in, and then it's done. Alright, so the other mode is kind of unique. There hasn't really been something like this before. And what that is, it's basically, it's a leech seed, but the way this leech seed works, alright, let me just go ahead and skip this. I wanted to get wind to be a little bit better. So basically, you attack, and then, well, let's try to get it to inflict here. That's going to be one of the bad things about the MISC, is it's not going to be based on weapon element held. Alright, so let's see. So we got a leech seed. So they updated the status engine so that the leech seeds could... So basically what this will be, it'll do half damage, and then you'll get healed by the equal to the amount of the damage done. So it's 3 turns later. However, if I inflict again, it resets the original leech seed and adds another one. We'll go again. So there's a 3rd leech seed. And then, so what will happen then is, let's see here. Let's kill the guests. Pet. Here, let me just do this. So we're down to 1. One more time. It should fire after the monster does its thing. So let's see what happened on the battle log. Alright, so 153, 133, and 141. And then, so it says it healed 103. And I think I lacked 103 from being fully healed. I probably should have used Essence Orb or something just to show. But basically, that's how much I would have healed there. So that's the Wishweaver MISC. Again, the change to the save for the monster changing to intelligence, I think will help it save a little bit better. And there you have it for the MISC. Alright, so now I want to showcase the shields. So they're very, very similar. If you remember Wingweaver shield, you have 392 and is quick cast, but this shield actually will cleanse statuses, and then it gets stats from endurance. So those of you with endurance should be able to see better heals than that, but it's just once per turn. The Wishweaver shield is supposed to be more like the spell, I forget the name of it. It's a ranged spell, something at the speed of light, which scales versus light element of the monster. In this case, it's wind element. And this one's actually supposed to take a turn, so it will actually get Ellie comp, but it's supposed to actually... It was bugged last time to not... it was quick cast, and it was not taking SP. So I don't know if they fixed it, so let's see what happens. Oh yeah, so it is actually taking SP, but I don't think I saw a heal. Oh yeah, it healed. So let's see what the battle log showed there. So it also gets the heal resist, I believe. Let's see. Hang on. So yeah, you also get the 6.25% heal. And then let's see what the battle log showed there. So let's see. So I did 522. That's without endurance. Let's see what happens when I swap over to a spellcaster armor. I think I'd like this changed. I don't think that a mage should be able to hop into spellcaster armor and do this personally. But let's see here. So that time it was 891, so As you can see, it's a more powerful heal, and this is even without endurance, but it just costs a turn. So depending on the person involved, so they're similar. One's going to have a stronger heal, but it's costing a turn and the SP, because it's going to get the Ellie comp to its heal and also scale on wind resistance. So that could be, worse. 10% wind resistance would be really bad. 200% wind resistance, it would be a lot better. And then you have the Wingweaver shield that is going to actually cleanse afflictions. Some people use Wingweaver to clear out the negative charisma after Purple Rain, since it's quick cast. But it is a drawback because it is going to be 392 SP, so you still are going to end up having to spend that. But there you have it for the Wishweaver shield, and kind of comparing it to the Wingweaver shield. Alright, so now we're moving on to the pet. So just as a reminder, the Wingweaver Zephyr basically has two modes. For an extra 77 SP, I think it does plus 50% damage, so you have a higher than normal damaging pet. So basically it does like guest damage for 77 SP. Which is weird because that's 60% melee, and yet a guest at 60% melee they want to cost an arm and a leg, but whatever. So let's see here. Let's see if I can. Got another wind monster here. Okay, so let's see if we can kind of show that off here. Maybe I can get a celerity. See what it kind of does here. Oh, they've got the verbiage backwards. All right, let's see. So yeah, as you can see, it could be a higher than normal damaging pet. If you get a lucky strike here, you might can do 1k. All right, so then the other mode is actually regen. So as you noticed here, it says Nourishing Winds, and it's one listed for your SP and one for your mana. So let's do Bard of War, so maybe we can get a couple going here. So the one thing about the Wingweaver pet is you can't really boost it. You can't like get yourself more charisma and see it really much better. So this would be good for I would say it would be good for builds that don't train intelligence. Maybe they train like 20 or 50 intelligence or something, and they just want to always have enough intelligence or enough MP. So like if you wanted to use Shadow Feeder Pendant to equip it, you have to spend some MP. There may be some other scenarios. So this will be able to kind of replenish the MP, but it's not going to be much. I think the pet is the worst part of Wingweaver. As you saw, it said 198 there. So let's see what the battle log shows now. Let's see if we can find what it said. So it says it healed 69 MP, 148 SP. So it was MP should have been higher than SP. I just full healed me, so that's the amount it healed. So MP heals get a 1.5 multiplier. SP is 1.125, so it would have been a little higher than what the SP showed there. All right, so now moving on to Wishweaver. So Wishweaver pet does not have a damage mode. Basically, it's going to be both modes as effects. So I wanted to, let's find a different monster real quick. This monster's almost dead. Alright, so I have a celerity. So this mode right here, it's going through the monster's chi barrier, so it's going to inflict Elevuln, but it's actually going to be Omni Elevuln. Let's get through the chi barrier and then you'll see its actual effect here. So going twice, got 131% to the Elevuln there. And so that's that mode there. So it's actually 2 turns instead of 1. So it can't be like doubled up like on the turn 0. I've noticed, I think staff has made that change going forward. I don't think we're going to see a 1-turn Elevuln on Elevuln Pets and Guests anymore. I think they're all going to be 2-turn because you're getting double boost on 0-turn Elevulns. But I will say this, since it is 1 round still there, you can use the Affinity Gauntlet and then it'll actually boost it by crazy. So it went from, I think it was like 139, now it's 239. And then it'll actually drop back down slightly here. So now it's at 1 for 193. And again, just do this again, it should be up in the, so now it's 293. So that mode can really, in combination there, can really boost it by quite a bit. Now the other mode is similar to Mosquito and Jelly, but so it heals SP only. We requested that it have a SP and a MP healing mode, but it cost hit points to boost it. Staff decided no 3 toggle pet, and then they went with some different coding. So this may be the new pathway forward. So the Mosquito Jelly way I think is going to be gone. So they capped the healing here. So I've got 592 SP. You're most likely going to see these caps not only because the Elevuln is here, but the Lucky Strike Misc. So we'll just see what happens here. So 276 and then 277. So 276, 277 is going to be the per turn cap, but using like Bard of War, you know, I'll take 550 approximate SP a turn all day, every day, because that's enough to pay for most everything that you're going to come across. See another 277. So I personally find the Wishweaver pet much more useful than the Wingweaver pet. But that's the 2 modes there. 2 very useful ideas into 1 pet. In fact, I think this pet's a permanent addition to my inventory. I think it's very good. Alright, so moving on to the weapons. In my opinion, I think the pet and the shield, I think Wishweaver has a slight advantage on the shield, but I can understand those that like the status cleanse and the quick cast. To me, I would probably be more about just the stronger heal, because I think the status cleanse is not really necessary. I also think it has the best misc of the 2, but that's a closer battle. The barrier post spells and attacks is not bad. And then on the pet's a wash. The Wishweaver pet's way better. But when we're talking about the weapon and then after this the armor, I think they're pretty close competition. They're, I guess, for the most part. I I think with the weapon, it just kind of depends on what you sort of want. So if you remember with the Wingweaver weapon, so if you read the caption there, it basically will eat barrier for damage. So it costs 490 SP and will eat up to 495 worth of barrier if available instead of SP. So basically, if you have a barrier in place, let's see if I can get some kind of barrier. 471. Alright, so let's see. So, the clickable skill on this weapon is actually one of the most powerful clickable skills in the game. And it actually partner with the armor, and I'll explain the armor in a minute. That's why I mentioned in the beginning the Wingweaver armor is probably going to be a more damaging armor than Wishweaver, and the Wishweaver is more about its ability to replenish resources. And so this magic weapon for sure is pretty good. Now if I move over to the Wishweaver weapon, it actually will have a toggle like Tritent, and it has a skill or a spell, if we're talking about the magic version, on both modes. So we've got this one right here, this mode here. It actually will grant a barrier after you do the attack. As you can see, it's costing 653 MP, and it's giving me a barrier. And the Necromancer itself is giving a barrier too. So that barrier you just saw is not standalone. The nice thing about this, the Wishweaver weapon, is because it's a spell that gives barrier, you can use it in Necromancer. So Necromancer will give you a barrier. This weapon will give you a barrier. You can use the Crystal Mounted Defender Shield with the barrier. You could actually throw on the Wingweavers, and they'll give you a barrier. So it started at 830, so we're up to a 1k barrier already, as you can see. So there's some stacking ability going on with the actual weapon here. That's pretty nice. So we're 1600 barrier. Now what I'll do is I'm going to switch back over to Wingweaver, and I've got 1600 barrier. I have no SP, but that's fine because I'll have enough barrier to eat, and this will actually become free. And as you can see, it was free. It just ate my barrier. That was the cost. So in that respect, the two weapons can be used together if you wanted to go that route. Alright, let's see what happens here. I really think they need to bring better initiative back to luck. It's not really luck anymore. Alright, so let's see here. Coming back to Wishweaver. So now I'm going to actually toggle. Alright, 1 second. So now we're using the other mode, which is going to be Elevon mode. So as you can see, it's lower damage, but you're going to have, I think it's up to 3 turns if it lands all 3. Yeah. So it's Wind Elevon. It's probably not too dissimilar from the Wind, a Necromancer SP, but this is going to cost MP. So this actually is going to be able to, your wind Elevon is going to be able to partner with the, what do you call it? The Comp from the armors. All in all, I think both weapons have their place and you can actually use them with one another. I think they probably complement their individual sets better. Wingweaver weapon with Wingweaver armor, Wishweaver weapon with Wishweaver armor, stuff like that. But I think that because this weapon has two modes and two different skills, to me that provides better utility. And especially for mages, you have the built-in spell, and so I think it edges out Wingweaver a touch. Even though Wingweaver, I think it, if I remember correctly, it can have up to like a 500% damage. So there's just a better ability to nuke. Some players may like that better. I'm really not much for nuking, though I will say, using the Celestial Void Forged package and the imbuing Wingweaver weapon with Void while using Wingweaver armor is nasty. It's huge damage, and so it has its place. So I don't think I would argue with somebody if they said Wingweaver's weapon was better. I personally am not a pure damage type of player. That's just why I like Wishweaver better, and just the more options, the more utility there. But that's it for about the weapons. Alright, so moving on to the armors. Let's just do a reminder about Wingweaver. So we've got mount and dismount mode. So dismount is going to be fully offensive lean. And then we have mount, which is going to be fully defensive. So in fully defensive mode, you have this skill here. Huge SP cost here. This is a spell-based skill. So it gives the monster a weaker heal resistance, and it gives yourself a better heal resistance. So that 12.5 that's there, and that's permanent. So that's what's pretty nice about this, is that will stay that way going forward. Now, it does have a full set bonus if you do that skill a second time, if you have the weapon and the shield all in one. Here, let's go ahead and do that. It'll give you another 12.5 heal resistance, but you have to stay in the armor to keep it. Or you have to stay in the full set to keep it. I wished it was just the armor, but it's not. So let's do Wingweaver. Let's do Wingweaver. Alright, so let's do this. So again, you've got all your heal resists. Do it again. Should have it again. So now it's 25. And then if I remove a weapon, it drops to 12.5. If I bring it back, it goes to 25. So that's full defensive mode. And then dismount mode is, in my opinion, this is the best feature of the armor by far. So in this mode, everything is locked to wind. That includes bows. That even includes weapon specials. Let's see if I can get Havarti Blade. to proc. Might die here trying to show this off, but let's see what happens. Come on, Marty Blade. And by locking to wind, it always will receive the LE comp. So that's what's nice about it. That even includes weapons with clickable skills. So like, for example, I'll go ahead and use this guy here. And as you're going to see, it will be wind. And thus receive LE comp. And so, like the Franken Soul Drinker, probably if those specials went off, would be more powerful. So it's similar to the Zerker armors in that respect, but without a cost. It's just a feature. To me, that's Wingweaver's best feature. And then so, when using this feature here, specifically with, let's see here, with like its own weapon, if there was enough barrier in place, you could get like, so let's see here, let's go ahead and use the armor with the misc. So this will get better barrier with strength and ranged attacks. That'll have a larger bearing than it will with endurance, but everyone likes to use endurance because of the 5%. So this mode here, actually, it has 2 attacks. It'll have a 4-hit attack and a 3-hit attack. And then this skill here will reduce your damage for by quite a bit for greater barriers. So now, with ranged and strength and endurance trained, you can get like 800, 1200 barrier at times pretty quickly. And then once your barrier is high enough, you just basically click this guy, and then you're going to end up with some pretty strong damage here. That was pretty unlucky there. But that's Wingweaver in a nutshell. Now moving over to Wishweaver. Wishweaver's going to have, so mounted mode is fully offensive, the same, but mounting up is going to be spellcaster lean. So this one's going to cater a little bit more to mages. In spellcaster lean, it's going to have a LE locked, LE comped spell called Exchange, but its cost is in hit points. And it's basically, you're going to do damage, and you're going to heal. It's a cap of 791 SP. I almost always do that. I think maybe it's because it's in Spellcaster Lean. So you're going to see this SP bar. I missed one hit, so that was only 453. Another hit point cost here. There you go, 791. So this is the single most... This is the single highest SP replenishment in an armor in the game. There's other things that heal a lot of SP, but there's no armor that can do this amount. And then with it also being in Spellcaster Lean, whenever you actually use the actual weapon, it's going to get boosted damage. So you're going to get your damage out of Spellcaster Lean more than probably the full offensive lean, because let me change this wind element. It is all right. All right, so now going to dismount mode. We're now in fully offensive mode, and so this is basically like Algern's Carapace, which I think is only level 130. So this idea has not been reintroduced since years ago, and now we actually have something that brings it back. But they did some little different things. They capped, so this is going to siphon, so you're going to basically half your damage. It's weapon based, so you're going to be able to do things like get your weapon based effects, like for example like Infinita Staff and Havarti Blade and different things. Or you could even like imbue with this guy and it'll work on this. You get half the attack, but I healed 442 hit points. So on the other mode, it costed hit points to heal SP. On this mode, it costs SP to heal hit points. So it's a back and forth. And one of the beauties about this is you can still just hit attack. Now, if you notice, it's light. It was a light element there, so that's where Wingweaver, it would actually not only be wind, but it would be increased damage, making the weapon special better. So that's an advantage that Wingweaver has. But as you can see, it's LE locked to wind. Let me swap over here to Infinita Staff, and you'll see my MP heal. So one of the reasons why I think it's beneficial that even though it has a Spellcaster Lean and it's doing resources, that the resource that's healed is not MP, is because the ability to heal MP from other sources like Infinita Staff, there's Pets and Guests that heal MP very well, Essence of Carnage, things like that, from an outside source is so good that you don't really need it. So you heal the other things inside the armor. So you can do things like, okay, so I'm gonna spend all this SP here, gonna mount up, and then just get it back. If I wanted to do it again, maybe I wanted to use something else, like I mean, I don't know. So I have Essence of Carnage here. Let's do this real quick. So the weapon, 8 LE Vuln for a barrier. And so then I just dismount. So I'm gonna go from 6. So I've got Essence of Carnage, Infinita. I could also have Rejuvenating Necklace as a misc. Let's do Wishweavers. Do LE Vuln mode. Also, Wishweavers, as you saw, I fully healed my MP. So with certain items, you can replenish all your resources. But one of the things that Wishweaver has is, I think it also has a Tropo Shield, like, I think it's 114%. Let's see real quick. LE Vuln. He endured the effect. See if I can get it to do it this time. Endured the effect. And that's one of the drawbacks of the MISC being... Oh wait, that's not the MISC here. Alright, let's see here. Just wanted to show off real quick. Let's see if I can get it to do it. Alright, so we've got 114% elevon. So it's basically just like Tropo Shield, but it's a 114%. And then you can just combine it with this here. So that time the armors didn't make it, but the MISC did. If I had trained at dexterity, it would probably inflict most of the time here. Let's see. Endured. Having a little bit of bad luck on the inflictions there from the armor and the MISC there, but all in all, depending on what kind of gameplay style you have, just depends on which one you like better. You can actually use both, because if you look here, let's see here, Wishweaver has wind as its main, and then it has ice and light as its secondary. And then Wingweaver is obviously wind as its main. Then it has water and energy as secondaries. So these two armors covers basically 5 elements. So that's why I have both equipped. They both could play a role, in my opinion. They both can serve their own function. I can get the heal resist in one, hop over to the other, and get better heals. I can get a barrier on my mage on Wishweaver, because the barrier ability for mages on Wingweaver is not as strong as warriors and rangers, and then hop over to Wingweaver and use the weapon, and then get a free nuke by eating the barrier. So stuff like that. So you can use both at the end of the day. I think, again, in conclusion on which armor's better, I've never been a nuking person, so I like the utility of Wishweaver more, but I understand those that just like the damage aspects of Wingweaver. And obviously everyone's sort of like the heal resistance thing has kind of been a trend, which to me it's overrated unless you're able to stack enough of it. But I think there's other better ways to consistently heal, but than just casting healing spells. But that's it for the armor.